So Pulsechain has higher throughput, better security, lower environmental impact to the point of nearly none, is a newer coin with more features, is faster than Bitcoin. But Bitcoin has an $800 billion market cap. Pulsechain doesn't. Why? Well, we're new. We're on the way, right? Things will get better, in my opinion. So like, oh, and for you listening, is that a forward-looking price statement? Nope, not a forward-looking price statement, not financial advice. So we've got a wonderful network. We've got wonderful features. We've got wonderful airdrop. There's, you can do lending on the Pulsechain network. There's projects that let you borrow coins. There's projects that there's stable coins on Pulsechain. There's all types of stuff people have launched on Pulsechain. Guys, the network is good. Works great. Oh, and the bridge is free too. Somebody set the bridge to 0 fee so that using the bridge has no fee, both directions. So if you go to bridge.pulsechain.com, there's no fees currently. In, out, either way, no fees. Now you're going to pay a fee on the Ethereum network. Nothing you can do about that. That's Ethereum's side, right? So you got a great network and you got a ton of free coins and it's worked flawlessly for 7 months. Go make it great, guys. Launch stuff on it, use it, build fiat on-ramps, make a money transmitter in your state, make a licensed money transmitter in your state, and you can, make the community better. Like,
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another show. Woo! All right, let's go. Oh yeah, Montreal Rain the Savage. We're going to look at the title of the video today: Why Pulsechain, Pulsex, Incentive Token, and Hex are so good. Took me a little bit to say that, but there we go. And we've got a poll up at the moment, so get in there on that poll. Why do you think Pulsex, Incentive, Hex are so good? Got 4 options there. You can leave any others in the chats. Layer 1 fork of ETH, real DeFi. Number 2 is Pulsex buy and burn. And number 3 is the long accumulation phase. And of course, then number 4, the magic carpet ride, a little bit unknown entity there. So that is the 4 to choose from. So let us know. Add any others that you can think of into the chat there. They're really, really cool. Big welcome to Lies Beneath. How are you today? Very good. Very sunny outside. We're getting to the end of the official winter. We've got another week or something like that to go. So getting there, and then it's sunny outside today. Cool air though, very cool air. We got Hex Pulsex Incentive for the 100%. Kind of the title of the video today. We got Wookie in the house there. Hey, good to see Wookie. Wookie is a giant amongst the small people. He is from a galaxy far, far away, that's for sure. We've got Brian in the house, our community leader. Big shout out to Brian. Good to see us up, folks. Always great to see Brian in the house. We got Hexcrater as well. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Good to see Hexcrater working, building a US infrastructure. Big shout out to him. We appreciate your service. So that's nice to see. All right, so let's get into it, folks. We're going to talk about the stock market and the economy. Before we do that, though, let's get to Crypto Furio. Hey, yo, good to see you in the house. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you're watching, of course, and you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell as well. All right, let's go. And bam, the US stock market there, S&P 500 closes lower as the tech rebound runs out of steam. And we've seen a bit of a pullback, which has probably been a healthy pullback so far. We've seen the Dow Jones there is pretty much up 0.2%, 81 points to 39,935. We've got the S&P 500 down half a percent, 28 points to 5,400. And then we've got the NASDAQ there down 0.93%, 162 points to 17,180. So that's the stock market there. US dollar versus the trading partners down slightly today at 104.07 on the index. Going to commodities, we can see that West Texas is up slightly at $78.38. West Texas, Brent oil is up slightly as well at $82.50. Gold is up 0.4%. So gold, obviously, and silver going to be some pretty bullish themes moving ahead. We got gold at $2,363, up $10, and silver, which is probably going to be the biggest story, moving in ahead, is at $28, down below 30, of course, that we have been seeing. but that's definitely something we're going to be looking forward to later, when we get interest rate pivots and all sorts of stuff like that. So silver can be one to look out for. Now, we did have economic news today. So second quarter GDP data shows strength and prices fall. So it's kind of the perfect combination. Was that a soft landing? Some might argue. US gross domestic product grew 2.8% in the second quarter versus forecast of 2%, and an improvement from a 1.4% growth in the first 3 months of the year. However, the prices component and inflation gauge in the release saw a fall of 2.3% from 3.1% in the first quarter. So the holy grail there. Further signs of slowing inflation have underpinned growing hopes that the Fed Reserve will cut interest rates more than once this year, starting September. So not just we were kind of down to 1, but looks like we may possibly get 2, and September could be the first one. So that's kind of good news there. That is that for the stock market economic news. Moving back to crypto, we've got Bitcoin finally decided to stop sliding. So Bitcoin there at $65,810, up almost 0.5%. So that's good news there. Ethereum, following the Ethereum ETF launch, is down 5% almost, still at 3,177. We got BNB is down 0.5% at $572. Those are our leaders at the moment. We can see some of the others are all down. XRP's down 3%. Solana down 3%. ADA down 3% there as well. Tron, though, making a bit of a nice move, almost 1% up. And Litecoin also down 3.3%. So 3% seems to be the number that everything is down. Matic is also down 4%, just below 50 cents there. So amongst our leaders, that is pretty much it. So let's zoom in on Bitcoin. We can see Bitcoin here staying over the 50-day moving average, the yellow line. And that's beautiful, right? Beautiful to see that. $63,681. And we actually bounced from that yesterday. Look at that. Ooh, nice there. And here we are today at 65,900. So things looking pretty good for the old Bitcoin. Pretty cool. 200-day moving average is at 59,000. So almost up to $60,000 for the 200-day moving average. That's a pretty bullish sign, if you ask me. Now, obviously, we've got the interest rate pivot in September expected. So that's getting closer. And it's not that far, mate. I mean, we're less than a week away from the July meeting, but September, they're only 53 days away. So pretty bullish. Now, obviously, September is often a down month, and October is up month. But we're sitting pretty well, I think, in the old crypto at the moment. And then, of course, we've also got the Bitcoin conference on, right? So 25th to the 27th of July, US time, I guess it is. And we've got President Trump speaking on the 27th, and that could be extremely bullish. So this chart is looking very, very good for a takeoff. If we get some really solid news out of that pro-Bitcoin president. We also think Kamala Harris has decided to bow out. Obviously, they're fakers, right? They don't support crypto or freedom. So it's all up to Trump, and he's going to gain all the political credit for that. So, we could see some fun things here, particularly if we get 2 things. One, indicating the SEC's a pivot of the SEC, a change of leadership, and of course a change of mandate, as well as potential US government buying Bitcoin to back Treasury reserves, things like that. That'd be pretty bullish. Either or both of those, it would be fantastic. So we're looking pretty good for the rest of the year. Looking at the Bitcoin ETFs, excuse me, we can see that we've actually had a lot of net buyings, right? So this green line, you can see is net flows. So we've had a lot of net flows. We're actually getting a pretty mature Bitcoin ETF, and therefore, a lot of people are talking about, capital flight in and out all the time, a very unstable investor. Well, we're actually seeing pretty stable investor coming through the Bitcoin ETFs, which is bullish for longer term investing. And we'll probably see that in the Ethereum ETF as well, which had a pretty good opening day, as we talked about yesterday. So not too bad there with the old Bitcoin. Now moving into a meme season on Bitcoin for the first time, obviously with the big bull market ahead of us, looking very close indeed, probably closer than we might thought, which is looking for October at least. Excuse me, still got that cough there. We got Dog Go to the Moon has managed to make a little bit of a gain today, up 2.67%, sitting at 6 sats exactly, with a market cap of 395 million, so just below 400 million there. And the big news out today was that Dog got perpetual trading on OKX exchange. It had a spot listing, but got a perpetual listing now as well, and therefore you can do leverage trades on Dog. So that's it's really cool. So I got a little bit of uplift from that. Amongst the leaders here on Magic Eden, we see that Liquidium token has come into number 7 spot. So a new entrant there is up 23%, jumping in the top 10. Everything else is pretty normal at the moment, but everything's slightly down on the runes apart from that. So that's on Magic Eden, number 1 DEX for runes, and on Bitcoin, of course, the first season for Bitcoin memes. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. All right, that leads us into Ethereum at the moment. So Ethereum, the picture is quite different. Obviously, sell the news event there with the old Ethereum ETF, and we went down pretty much from $3,500 down to just, we actually went down to just below 3,100. We're back almost at 3,200. We bounced back above the 200-day moving average, which is 3,124, and the 50-day there is sitting at 3,357 at the moment. So we're below that, but above the 200-day. But I suspect that we had a good start to the Ethereum ETF, and that will start to pick up, right? It will start to pick up, and we'll see more interest coming back into Ethereum. Now, there has been a crypto index fund applied for as well. So that's pretty bullish. And so, but they're going to start off with Bitcoin, Ethereum, should they get approved. The other thing is that at the moment, BlackRock's kind of talking about most interest being just from Bitcoin, Ethereum, as opposed to other coins. But I suspect that will be pushed to the side with chains like Solana, possibly Base, and they're doing quite well. And then, of course, maybe even, obviously Pulsechain as well. Especially if we can get the Hex Investment Trust guys, once we're through the SEC event, maybe something for next year, we could see an investment fund coming in for the Pulsechain, should they pursue that, and they're certainly set up for that. So fingers crossed on that one. So that's kind of where we're at the moment. Obviously, we've got all the same economic news, interest rate pivot, and US election coming up. So that is kind of, and probably the most bullish thing in some degree, the Bitcoin conference this week. So if we get some bullish news out of that, it's really going to light a match. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So that is where we are with the markets at the moment. Let's get back into some of the comments else that have jumped in here. We've got Eddie in house. All RH coins are so good. Woohoo. Yeah, that reminds me, we have got our poll up at the moment. So definitely hit that poll. We've got 13 votes at the moment. Why do you think Pulsex, Incentive, and Hex are so good? The layer 1 fork of ETH, the real DeFi. Obviously, with the second layers, which have been taking a lot of demand off Ethereum, you've got a lot of, key issues and turning chains off and things like that. So you don't have that problem with Pulsechain, right? So real DeFi, full system state, battle hardened Ethereum. You've got number 2, Pulsex buy and burn, which is definitely a cool feature of the combination of Pulsex on Pulsechain. And so the buy and burn is ticking away, doing a pretty good job. There's a long accumulation phase, longer than a lot of people thought. We're up to day 440. So long accumulation phase means a lot of people got a chance to accumulate. Magic Carp ride, of course, people are looking forward to that at some stage. We have seen some opening salvos from that, and obviously sitting in ETH at the moment. So that's kind of where we are. What is it, 170,000 ETH, something like that. So that is where we are, Magic Carp ride. So we shall get in there and vote, folks. We'll check that out later. We got Yes Cap in house there. I will never panic sell Pulse, only buy until we win or die. I like that. That's a very, very bullish comment there. Craig Pitt in house there. Morning all. Hey Craig, hope you're doing well. And yeah, let's get into it. So we're going to get into Pulsechain now that we've finally arrived. Your folks says stop smoking cigars, Hex Token. Yeah, no, I don't really smoke. So I think I had 2 cigarettes when I was like 12 or something. That was about it. And then I realized I'd never smoked ever in my life. So it was a kind of good lesson there. All right, we got day 440. We got Pulse there at the moment, quadruple 0476. down 4.15% at the moment, so sitting at 48% of the mean sacrifice price at the moment. Pulsechain is at quadruple 0261, down 5.3% at 26% of the mean sacrifice price. The buy and burn, as we've got in the poll today, is sitting at 929.1 billion Pulsechain. That is now 4.59% of the public supply of Pulsechain at the moment. So just slowly burning away every day. We got incentive token at the moment, $2.77, down 6.26%. Now 4.15% of that is the Pulsechain price. So the ratio has dropped a little bit today, but still very high, 58,202. So holding up pretty well there. And the total supply there, 37.2 million incentive tokens from the V1 Pulsechain farms. Looking to Hex, Hex is at just under 6100th of a penny, down 4.25%. And the EHEX is at 1200th of a penny, down slightly from yesterday at 1300th. And then we got the combined price of EHEX and PX at 7300th of a penny at the moment, so just below 3/4 of a cent is the old Hex there. So that is the results of day 440. Can you believe it? 440 days. Pretty crazy. And of course, that gets into our third option on the poll, which is a long accumulation phase. Definitely has been a generous gift for those wanting to accumulate the big bags for potentially the fourth option, Magic Cart Ride. So not too bad. All right, so let's get into the charts here. We can see on Pulsechain that the RSI is finally just tapered off on the daily. We're down to 54. So we got overheated with our rally. Remember our rally that we had right here? So we got overheated all the way up to 69. Didn't quite get into full-on oversold, but came back down and is cooling off now, 54. We are still holding up. If you think about this rally, still holding up really well from this rally. So this is a really bullish looking chart compared to previously, where every rally would get sold down, right? Sold down. So far the market is not doing that. So that's pretty cool. Even with the bit of the Ethereum pullback, sell the news event. So there we go. That is looking pretty good. Now the good news, of course, we've got the Bitcoin conference. You can sort of see in here, and we're looking forward to President Trump's speech on the 27th, and that could be potentially mega, if not super bullish, for the crypto market generally. So that is kind of where we are. Let's jump over to the weekly. The weekly there, you can see that we've actually had 2 green weeks, starting our 3rd week, and this may end up turning green. We shall see. But in any case, we are looking really good. And the RSI there has picked up to 37. Still a big super run potential in the chart here for Pulsechain. So just take that to note. We got the SEC response coming up for Richard Hart on the 19th of August. So man, that I see that as a bullish event. So we may get a little bit of lift on that as well. We shall see how the market responds to that. So let's go to Pulsechain. Pulsechain looking even better. As you guys know, we've cooled off the RSI finally down to 61. I need a bit of a cool down. And we've got a bullish cross here, right? So that pink line is the 13-day, moving over the purple line of 34-day. And this is holding up very well indeed. So looking pretty good for a next move up. So Pulsechain is about to go off to the races, in my guess, based on this chart. So yeah, if you've been accumulating, congratulations. That's all I can say. Let's go to the weekly chart on Pulsechain. Very clear view here of the longer term. We've managed to hold up this yellow support line. We've got higher lows, clear higher lows from July compared to December, and the all-time low there down in September last year. And we're almost heading towards a bullish cross here as well. So Pulsechain looking very good for a leg up higher, and got plenty of room in the RSI to do it. So things looking pretty good there for Pulsechain. Not too much to say about that. Incentive token has been doing terrific, and of course it's just a little bit of tapering today. But look at that, we're almost up to that next line, 61,000 on the yellow line. And of course, if we break that 71, and then off to the races after that. So the incentive looking fantastic. EHEX, of course, PHEX, Hex on Pulsechain, has tapered off. We did actually get to the oversold period when we had the rally, this rally here, and we got up to what, 74 or something on the outside. Cool, right down to 54, still holding up really well. So like I said, Pulsechain, all of these looking good for another leg up. and we got bullish crosses in the moving averages as well. We got higher lows, so everything looking pretty good. The trend is your friend, as they say, and it's still down at 0.6 of a penny. What a bargain for the old Hex there. And for how much longer, right? That's the question. How much longer? It really does look like that discount is starting to disappear. So fingers, just keep a watch on the space when we're looking at longer periods. Let's go to the weekly, and you can see the weekly there, 2 green weeks in a row. Now there's going to be a little while before we get a bullish cross on the weekly here, but the RSI is pretty chill at 41, and that can change pretty fast if we start getting green candles like this for a week, for example, back in January earlier this year. So keep a lookout for that. EHEX, of course, even cheaper, down at 0.12 of a penny, and of course we'll get dragged up with the old Pulsechain there, Hex on Pulsechain. So that is pretty much it on those. Let's go to some of the rest of the markets. On the Hex derivatives, we can see that everything's pretty down or flat today on the Hex derivatives, so I won't talk too much about that. Talking to stable coins on Pulsechain, we've got not too much happening in there either. PDI is negative 5%, down 2300 of a penny, and LUSD there is down 10%. So the speculative ones are down. Moving to influencer coins, we have seen some action. We've seen Matty Allen's outperform everybody else, and look at that. That is Matty Allen coin, $4.67, and has had a high today of $4.93. So doing pretty well is the old Matty, especially when people were counting it down and out back here after it had its initial opening. Typical sort of crypto chart crash, and then of course panic down here, and then it has managed to rally. We had a bottom out around about $1. It's now $4.67, so a pretty strong comeback there. Interesting where the funds are coming from for that pump, but nevertheless has managed to rebound. So there we go. That is the influencer coins. Moving to Pulsechain overall. Let's jump over to that. Pulsechain overall. Where's that gone? I can't even see it on the list here. There it is there. Sorry. My bad. So Pulsechain overall, $10.4 million on trending volume, 24 hour, and 150,000 transactions almost. And that is kind of the numbers for today. We've obviously got some just pop-up coins, as I call them, Vinvestor there as well. No liquidity in that one, but we got Affection here. It's got 24K liquidity. It's up 14%. Gophers are making a bit of a rebound, up 7% there. PTGC, the Greys, up 5.5%. One of the better sort of DAO tokens, Reflection Ecosystems. BFF up at 2.5% as well. So they've got a few little movers, but not a lot happening on Pulsechain today. You got to remember 10.4 million a week volume, so pretty low at the moment. We want to get back up over 25 mil. That'd be pretty cool, desirable outcome. So that is the marks there for Pulsechain. Let's go to the gas prices. It's 271,000 beats, half a penny for a Plsx swap at the moment. Let's go to the validators. We've got 1.56 trillion, so we had a little bit more after about 2 months being flat at 1.55 trillion. We had a little bit of lift there in the validator stats to 1.56 trillion. Let's go to the bridge there. Well, we've popped back below $100 million. And of course, obviously ETH would have contributed to that. EHEX would have contributed to that. And of course, we saw some USDC and I think USD Tether go back over the bridge over the last 24 hours. So that's just chopped us down. But DAI is holding up pretty well at 29.4 million. So that's kind of the good news story there amongst all the drifters. But we were sitting at about 102 million yesterday. We're now at 99.7, 99.75 million there. So back below 100 million. So we'll keep looking out for that as a good sign of the health of the chain. So that is day 440. We're going to be starting day 441. And that's kind of where we are at the moment. That's going to move us into Mafia. So we'll talk about that in a second. Let's see who else is here. We got, actually, let's finish the poll. We got 16 votes. So let's finish the poll and see what those results are for today. Do you think Plsx incentive and Hex are so good? We got layer 1 fork of Ethereum, real DeFi 62%. So that's really, really encouraging to see that actually. So kind of cool. Magic outright 18% and long accumulation phase 12%. The buy and burn down at 6%. So we've seen probably a big change of perspectives over this 440 days. And we've almost seen the flippening there in what people would have valued up, say, 440 days ago. So yeah, there we go. The ETH fork, the real DeFi chain, which Pulsechain is, ticks away there. You know, they've got all those extra risks with second layer chains that dominate a lot of crypto at the moment. So, but Pulsechain offers that layer one reliability. So kind of cool. All right, let's see what else we got. We got the Sandy Beach says, hello, Hex Token, everybody. Good to see everybody. Hey, Sandy, welcome back. Sandy just had a birthday as well. So hope that was fun. Tea with lemon. And of course, I hope you're feeling better. Yeah, I'm definitely feeling better, but you know, just the voice thing, just it has a long tail end, I've always found, at least for myself. So even though I might feel better within a week, say, it has another week after that to hassle me. So I guess that's maybe just human nature or just maybe particular to myself. There we go. All right, let's get back into it. We're going to get into Pulse Mafia and see what the results are for that at the moment. So we got two charts, of course, the Mafia charts on Pulsechain and BNB. And let's have a look at the Pulse Mafia one. This chart's still looking pretty awesome, isn't it? And we got a bit of a red day at the moment, but man, what a chart. So up near all-time highs. Really, really cool. Sitting at just below 1900th of a penny, or just above 1900th of a penny. So not too bad there. Looking pretty good. Mafia on a BNB chain. Still near the bottom of the range at 0.0022. So some good opportunity to pick up a lot of Mafia there. You can become a millionaire Mafia holder there quite easy. So that's kind of cool. Remember, there's only 1 billion tokens on each chain. So that's kind of cool. Jumping over to the results for Pulse Mafia, the #1 GameFi project on Pulsechain. We've got 890 players now on Pulsechain, 17 crime families, and 4.56 billion Pulse sitting in the vault. And that vault's looking pretty juicy. $223,000 at the current price of Pulsechain. So imagine just Pulsechain lifting a little bit. This thing moves up by the thousands of dollars now. So that's pretty cool. So it's ticking along. Now, as you guys know, technically we're supposed to start at 5 billion Pulse, right? So, but the team will have to be technically ready, is my guess, because that 5 billion Pulse isn't actually that far away from us, is it? We're sitting at 4.56 billion. So we're likely to shoot past that. So they might have to make some changes there. Maybe we shall see. But the next phase we're expecting for Pulse Mafia is the Mafia map. It is a major, mega phase of the pre-phase launch for the game. Obviously, there are 12 phases to launch, and we're currently still in phase 5 plus, as I say. Yeah, we've got that Mafia map to come up. So you can see that on my chart, of course. We've got phase 5 NFT marketplace all the way back on the 26th of June. And then we had the keys come out, Player Plus and Family Plus, Hidden Inventory and Allegiances came out on the 18th of July, all part of phase 5. So we are looking forward to that big update on phase 6 there, map. And then it'll be interesting to see how much time between each of these next phases it takes to get to launch, since we are getting very close to that 5 billion minimum for launch there. So that is where we are at the moment. Got to also balance out, you know, that waiting fatigue as well as the excitement of the pre-launch phases. So there's a bit of give or take there from the dev founder needed to make. The other thing, of course, is that moment we've only got the Mafia token trading at the moment with the 1 billion tokens, but we're going to have 2 other tokens trading, the Bullets and Health, and I think that's really going to stir things up quite a bit. If you're used to the TYRH, you're probably used to multiple tokens. It's going to be a bit like that, so it's going to be pretty interesting. And I guess if there's a big war on in the game, then the Bullets and Health will go through ups and downs, right? Following the bloodbath, I guess, in the game. Remember, it's just a game. So there we go. So that's some of the cool stuff. Obviously, there's little updates happening all the time to this Wikipedia with new weapons and other things added in and out. So you just got to, you know, keep yourself up to date with it. But that is pretty cool. The other thing I'm looking forward to, actually, a lot of people talk about, is actually the central bank and the game economy. I really do looking forward to some of that ratios and how that influences the whole game. Yeah, it's going to be pretty crazy. All right, so that is ticking away there. Let's have a look at what else we're going to say. The families at the moment. The syndicate still holding number one spot, 427,000 worth. The gearheads are sitting about 11,000 behind. They're at number two. The Yakuza at number three, sitting at 175,000. Salamanca's still in number four there, 171, just below the Yakuza. And finally, number five there, the Hustlers, sitting at number five. And of course, that was from Lick Gaines positioning there. We've got number 6, 7, and 8 sitting at the Mumbos, the Mugnaus, and the Grand Clan. So those are wrapping up the top 8 spots. The top 5 guaranteed payout spots. The next 3, conditional payout positions. And then, of course, all the other families there as well. So that's kind of the play. The only allegiance at the moment on Pulsechain is the syndicate, the directorate between the Yakuza and the Hustlers. That's the only allegiance so far, and that will be important when the map comes out, right? So we'll be looking forward to that. So far, you can still buy keys, $20 each, and try and win yourself some of the cool in-game assets. In particular, the Mafia, the OG NFTs, and the keys are popular. And there's still 38 million Mafia to win over here on Pulsechain. That leads us into the marketplace. Marketplace ticking away all the time. We've just hit 4,000 items sold. So, popular the marketplace NFT, marketplace here on Mafia, $172,000 in volume, 109,000, almost 110 million in Pulse fees contributing to the vaults, which is pretty cool. All right, so that is some of the cool stuff. Obviously, lots of cool things you can buy in-game assets, but definitely the floor price has definitely lifted. So it's going to be kind of cool. Even a level 5 Johnny, for example, as a Mafia, you can come to the chart and see, that we had a slight lift in the price there. It was down at $10, $11, up at like $15, $13, $14 recently. But some other assets have had far more dramatic moves in prices. So even 100 health here, have a look at that. That was down at $4, $5. That's moved up to like $7, $8. So depending on the asset, you've seen far more aggressive moves, like Thompson guns, for example. Let's have a look there. So yeah, you were picking those up at $5, $2.60, and they've been going for as high as $15 recently. And at the moment, $12, $13 is buy now prices. So a lot of changes have happened in the game. And a lot of that were driven there by the gearheads and a few others buying up a lot of the assets. Moving over to BNB, let's have a quick look at that while we're here. BNB, let's look at the players actually. Players, 873 players on BNB, 17 crime families, 122 BNB in the vault. So that vault is at $70,000 at the moment. So 123,000 plus 70, that is 193,000 US dollars. So we haven't quite cracked the $300,000 mark, but I guess it's coming. We've had slightly down markets, right, in Pulsechain and BNB. So when we get a bit of a rebound, I'm sure we'll smash that 300,000 combined value over on BNB. The families at the moment leading: OG Gangsters number 1, Syndicate number 2, the Mugnaus number 3, the Yakuza number 4, and the Illuminati at number 5. We've got 2 allegiances over on BNB, the OG Alliance and the Directorate. So that is the strategic move so far, and we're only in phase 5 of 11 there before we get to phase 12 this game start. So kind of cool. Now you can buy keys over here, of course, $20 as well. But all the big prizes are still there. 43 businesses are still there. You can't get businesses off the primary market through opening crates on Pulsechain. You have to buy them on the marketplace, secondary market, but you can win them here in the crates. 50,000 Mafia is still there as well, so no Mafia has been won over on the BNB side, and of course you can also win for keys as well. So still a lot of assets up for grabs over on the BNB side. The marketplace, obviously a lot lower volumes, 4,000 trades on Pulsechain, 94 here on BNB. So that's a pretty slow moving market over here at the moment, at least on the BNB chain. The vault though, you can see we've got different things. The Taxman is number 1 feeder of the vault over here on BNB with the buying and selling, but on Pulsechain, the keys are actually the number 1. So they're number 2 here. So we've got slightly different drivers there as well. All right, that is pretty much on the BNB Mafia. If you haven't picked up a player, you can do that. And here's the link to Mafia if you want to do. The other thing, of course, you can join a Mafia family if you want to join the syndicate. I'm not sure if we've got anybody in the house here with the syndicate landing page for recruitment, but you can do that. We got a Bella Cuvette. How do I join a Mafia family? Well, each family has got different rules. To join the syndicate is $100, but you get benefits from both being able to play on both chains and get the benefits from both chains, since the syndicate is pretty much a dominant player. So food for thought there. You can try and hit Archie up in the Discord if you're in Discord, but they may also land the Telegram link there as well. In fact, I think we might have that on here. If we got that, let's go to the syndicate. We might actually have that in play already. Let me have a look here. So we've got the links here. If you can see the links here, Bell over there. If you want to join, you can hit the socials up. So there is socials there. You can hit X. The syndicate Mafia has got that there. And you can join the syndicate here, get some recruitment there. But I think they also got it directly on Telegram here. And let's have a look here. Yeah, the recruitment here. So if you want to join, there's the link to join there as well. Join the #1 family. There is a process to apply, and it's not automatically approved. So remember that. There's checks and balances. This is a Mafia game after all. So that is going to play. A big shout out to Archie the Capone. The Don doing a great job there, leading the syndicate. Easily the most powerful family on Pulsechain and BNB. So a big shout out for that. All right, well, that is pretty much that. Pretty good pricing performance on Pulsechain. Big opportunity on BNB chain, and of course, the syndicate dominating at the moment. Of course, that is looking good for the future. All right, so that's pretty much it for that. Looking at Hex payouts, just briefly to cover this off. We haven't had Ethereum for ages, but Pulsechain, we've had day 440 and looking like the payout 7.13 for Hex per T-share on the old Pulsechain side. The total T-shares down 2,800 to 9.2 million. Is this the right day? Oh, no, I'm a day, but still we still haven't got today's result. These are yesterday's results. I wondered why they're so familiar. So we haven't got today's results out yet for Hex. They'll probably come out a little bit after the live stream. All right, so we pretty much covered everything there today. But yeah, looking pretty exciting moving forward for Pulsechain. And those charts, as I commented earlier, look pretty self-evident that they're holding up for another bigger leg move again. So just a good timing ski for Pulsechain. And yeah, it's accumulating. Might be the last chance to really accumulate those assets. Now, obviously, the only real negative wildcard that we've got, and it's a little uncertain, is the October dismissal, oral hearings in the court. That's probably the only real wildcard. Everything else is pretty bullish for crypto. And so particularly if we get, Trump coming out in the Bitcoin conference on the 27th this week with big support for crypto, which we're kind of expecting to see at minimum a change in the regulatory positions of potentially the new administration, given that they're doing so well in the polls. That is looking good. So that is all we've got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Probably rest my voice again, and we'll slowly get better day by day. And yeah, look forward to Pulsechain for the win. That's all I can say. It is really looking good. Turning point. So that bottom looked like it was in, and now we're holding up very well after that first rally for another leg up. That would be very, very exciting. All right, Hex Token for the win, says Lies. Hey, thanks for that. Appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. And of course, as Refined always says, woohoo, get excited. I can't even do it. Woohoo, woohoo. No, I can't even do it. That's terrible. All right, so get excited, and I'll catch you guys again for the journey. We're all sharing the same journey together, day in, day out. And here we are, 440 days in. Exciting times ahead for sure. Really does look like things are ramping up for the old Pulsechain with those charts giving us some good signals for the future. And yeah, really looking forward to the rest of this year. October in particular, up October, I think it's going to be smashingly good. So yeah, get excited for that. Take care all, says Lies Beneath. Absolutely. All right, so let's play out some should we play out the Mafia XO? I don't know. Let's play out the Motor Cup right again, actually. All right, peace out, everybody. Bye for now.
In theory, if someone were a billionaire and they had like all this money, why wouldn't they just buy more of the thing they liked instead of dumping the thing they liked? Like if Bezos bought shares in Amazon, would you be pissed off? If Apple does a stock buyback and they buy more of their own shares in their company back from the public, which is a way to turn earnings into yield for the shareholders, do you get mad and yell at Apple? And so we had to come up with a word for this fan fiction fantasy, which is the opposite of a rug pull, called a magic carpet ride. And so if you're worried about risk of a rug pull, what weighted value have you given the risk of a magic carpet ride? And it's just